What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Aiden. Today we are going over my week 1 predictions. So if you're excited for that, make sure you stay tuned. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into this. Let me know what you think of my predictions at the end of the video in the comment section down below. Starting off with the Texans at the Ravens. I've got the Ravens here winning 17-31. Some major headlines going into this game. Lamar's finally got some weapons in OBJ and Zay Flowers. It's CJ Stroud's first ever career start for the Texans, so let's see how that goes. That offensive line probably isn't going to keep him that safe. If you were to bet on sacks for the Ravens, I'd probably take over whatever the number is, because that Texans line was terrible during the preseason. Up next is this week's coin toss of a game. We've got the Titans at the Saints. This game could go either way. This is going to be something I'm doing every week. We're going to have a coin toss of the game, and we're also going to have a lock of the week. It's going to be super fun. We're going to be incorporating this coin right here. Anyways, I got the Saints winning 17-21. I don't know what Derek Carr is going to look like with a healthy Michael Thomas. We'll see how long he'll stay healthy. And can the Titans come back from a disappointing season last year? We'll see. Next up, we've got the Buccaneers at the Vikings. I have the Vikings here winning 28-20. A little bit of a convincing win, but the Vikings had a lot of one-score games last year. They had 11 of them to be exact. And the Buccaneers, let's be real, they're not that good. They just came off of the worst quarterback battle in the history of the NFL, Baker Mayfield versus Kyle Trask. We'll see if Baker can keep his job for a full season. Next up here, we've got the Raiders at the Broncos. I've got the Broncos winning 20-14. Not the high scoring of a game. I don't believe in the Broncos offense because of Russell Wilson. It's Sean Payton's first game. We'll see throughout the season if Sean Payton can fix Russell Wilson, but I got to see it to believe it. And on the opposite side of things, the Raiders, they're starting Jimmy Garoppolo. Who knows what Jimmy Garoppolo can do? He hasn't stayed healthy the last couple of years. The Raiders, they're having a bit of a situation with themselves with Chandler Jones. Look it up on social media. I'm not going to cover it here. But Chandler Jones wants out, and it's getting really, really nasty over there. I got the Broncos winning this one. Next up, we got the Eagles at the Patriots. I got the Eagles winning here 28-14. Let's see if the Eagles have some type of Super Bowl hangover. Their defense is looking like the Georgia defense. It's filled with rookies that are going to be starting. A lot of key starters left in free agency. And is Bill Belichick on the hot seat for the Patriots this year? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that a guy that's won, 6 Super Bowls could be on the hot seat with the team. But they're not really competing in this AFC East division. Next up, we got the rivalry as old as time. The Packers are visiting the Chicago Bears. I've got the Bears winning with this one, 17-23. I believe in Justin Fields. Some people don't, but I feel like most people will. I've got the Bears winning by just 1 touchdown, not anymore. I think Justin Fields is going to have a great year this year. He's finally got some weapons. On the other side of things, the Packers, starting Jordan Love, it's his first full season. Next up, we've got our second place candidate. We're not going to give him the good old flip, but it's the Dolphins at the Chargers. I got the Dolphins winning here 28-27. Some headlines just for the Dolphins going into the season. Can Tua stay healthy? I feel like this team could be a dark horse Super Bowl contender if Tua stays healthy. You've got a phenomenal offense with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. It's really all dependent on Tua staying healthy. And the Chargers is trying out a new offensive coordinator. Brandon Staley's really on the hot seat here. Next up here, we got the Thursday night game, the Lions at the Chiefs. As of this recording, Travis Kelce is not scheduled to play. This is Wednesday night. Travis Kelce is not on track to play. He may play. He hyperextended his knee, but I want to see what Mahomes looks like without Mahomes. So they might keep him out just for week 1. And it is the Lions. The Lions have been pretty bad in the last few seasons. Starting off the year, they normally have to climb back into this playoff race. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, we got our lock of the week. The lock of the week is the Cardinals at the Commanders. I got the Commanders winning 21-10. Listen, Cardinals fans, you might be the lock of the week every week because this team is horrendous. They're starting Joshua Dobbs. That came out today after they traded for him from the Browns, I think it was. And the Sam Howell era begins in Washington. Next up, we've got one of the more entertaining games this week, the Bengals at the Browns. We're finally going to see Deshaun Watson with a full season with the Browns. He was a top 5 quarterback at one time, and people forget that. So we'll see what he does after having a full off season of training with the Browns receivers and the entire team. I think that the Browns might surprise a few people. And Joe Burrow for the Bengals is expected to play this game. He hurt his calf during training camp, a non-contact injury, so it was a little scary. He got carted off, but it seems like everything's a go for him. Now we got the 49ers at the Steelers. I think the Steelers might be a sleeper team this year, but it's not going to be against the 49ers. This team is so good. The 49ers just re-signed Nick Bosa to end his holdout to, I think it was a 4 or 5 year deal worth like $180 million. Most highest paid defensive player in NFL history. Well deserved. This guy is a beast. Excuse me. Brock Purdy, however, is coming off of a somewhat of a Tommy John surgery. I'm not really sure how that worked, but from what I've read, it's kind of like Tommy John, but not Tommy John. We'll see how he plays. They traded away Trey Lance because they believe in Brock Purdy. Next up, we got the Panthers at the Falcons. I've got the Falcons winning here 17-20. These two teams are going to be slugging at it, though. Every time they match up, every year, it's always a slugfest. These two teams go at it. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. I mean, we all saw the game last year where P.J. Walker just throws that absolute dime to DJ Moore to win the game, and then he takes off his helmet, and you know what happens next. The kick misses, overtime, blah, 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 blah. But the Falcons, I think they're one of the more complete teams in this division. I have them slated to win it. Bijan Robinson, Cordell Patterson, and Tyler Algier, that's a pretty good running back core. I don't believe Bijan's technically the running back 3, although they put that depth chart out there. We'll see. I mean, I'm no coach. I don't know anything about what I'm talking about with coaching. But for the Panthers, there's a lot of reason for optimism. They're starting Bryce Young, and they've surrounded him with some pretty good weapons. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Seattle Seahawks. My Seattle Seahawks. I know I'm wearing a California hoodie, but still a Seahawks fan. Love the Seahawks. But we're not here to talk about that. We'll talk about this game. I have the Seahawks winning 31-13. Now, that may seem like a lot. I understand. I am a Seahawks homer. I love the Seahawks. Everybody who watches this has probably already known that. However, this Rams team is awful. Awful. No Cooper Kupp. Tyler Higbee's our number 1 option. The Seattle defense has improved. They got Devin Witherspoon in the draft. They've got Bobby Wagner back from LA. Next up, we got the Jaguars at the Colts. I've got the Jaguars winning 24-10. This is the Colts. They're going to be starting out a new head coach in Shane Steichen, and they're going to be starting a new quarterback in Anthony Richardson. We'll see what Anthony Richardson's made of. I mean, he's made some good plays in the preseason and some not so good plays. I personally thought he was a year away from starting, but they want to throw him out there week 1. They have no Jonathan Taylor for the first couple of weeks, so it's going to be really all on Anthony Richardson. Now, I saved the best game for last. In my personal opinion, I think that this game is going to be the best game. It's going to be the Bills at the Jets. We're going to get to see what Aaron Rodgers looks like in a Jets uniform. It's going to be awesome. From what we saw in that drive during the preseason, it looks like he's got some pretty good chemistry with his guys. So something to be super excited about. And we'll see what this Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen beef over training camp does. I am kind of curious to see if that goes into the regular season. It kind of just died. It's like super slowly, and people just forgot. With that being said, that's all of these week 1 games. We're going to have another video coming out next week to see how I did on my predictions. And we're going to keep my record all year, hopefully. And we're going to see how I did, and we'll predict the next week's games. Make sure that if you like this video, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new, do all those YouTube things. I appreciate it.